Have you ever felt a deep exhaustion that sleep can't fix? A bone-deep weariness that lingers no matter how many hours you spend in bed? A weariness that settles into your bones, making every day feel like a repeat of the last? A feeling that the joy has been slowly drained away, leaving behind a hollow echo of what once was? You wake, rush, work, manage, collapse into bed, then do it all again. The endless cycle, the relentless demands, the feeling of being perpetually behind. The world spins faster, demands pile higher, and somewhere in the noise you lose a piece of yourself. The constant striving, the never-ending pursuit of more, leaves you feeling disconnected and adrift. You forget how to just be, how to simply exist in the present moment, without the weight of expectations or the pressure of deadlines. I know that feeling. I've lived it. I understand the struggle of trying to keep up, of feeling like you're constantly running on empty. It's not a crisis or a breakdown. It's a whisper from your soul, asking for more. A gentle nudge, a quiet yearning for something deeper and more meaningful. More peace, more joy, more connection to your true self. A deeper understanding of who you are, what you value, and what truly brings you happiness. That's where Sarah found herself, a loving mother, dedicated professional, loyal friend, juggling everything, but unraveling inside. The smile she wore for the world masked a growing sense of emptiness. The constant buzz of her phone, endless to-do lists, and pressure to be everything to everyone became a heavy cloak, a weight that stifled her spirit and dulled her senses. The vibrant colors of her life faded to gray. The passions that once ignited her soul were now just distant memories. She was surviving but not truly living, going through the motions but feeling increasingly disconnected from her own existence. She yearned for a pause, a chance to breathe, a moment to step back from the chaos and reconnect with herself. That's when the idea of a wellness retreat entered her mind, a seed of hope planted in the fertile ground of her longing. It wasn't a dramatic decision, just a soft thought. What if she could step away, just for a while, escape the relentless demands and find some space for herself? What if she could go somewhere dedicated to her own well-being? A place where she could nurture her mind, body, and soul? The thought was both terrifying and exhilarating. The prospect of change, of disrupting her carefully constructed life, filled her with both fear and excitement. It felt selfish. It felt impossible. How could she possibly leave her responsibilities, even for a short time? But the whisper for more grew too loud to ignore. The yearning for something more fulfilling, more authentic, became undeniable. It was time to listen. Time to acknowledge the needs of her own soul, not just the demands of the world around her. Sarah realized she needed to reclaim herself, to rediscover the woman she was before the weight of the world had settled upon her shoulders. She wanted to remember what it felt like to be alive, not just busy, to experience joy, freedom, and a sense of purpose beyond her daily obligations. The idea of a retreat became her lifeline, a beacon of hope in the midst of her overwhelming responsibilities. She didn't need a grand escape, just a space to reconnect, a quiet sanctuary where she could silence the noise and listen to her own inner wisdom. The decision was simple, but the impact would be profound. A small act of self-care that had the potential to transform her entire life. Sometimes the smallest whisper can lead to the biggest change. A gentle nudge in the right direction can set you on a path of profound transformation. Sarah was ready to find her more. She was ready to embrace the possibilities that lay ahead and create a life filled with purpose and joy. She was ready to begin, ready to take the first step on her journey of self-discovery and renewal. And so, her journey started, a journey towards a more authentic, fulfilling, and joyful life. Deciding to go on this journey of self-discovery was one thing. It was a bold step, a commitment to change. But actually booking the trip, making it real, was another entirely. It transformed the idea into a tangible plan. As the confirmation landed in her inbox, guilt and doubt crept in. Those familiar, unwelcome guests. How could she possibly leave her family, even for a short time? What about her demanding work, the endless emails, the looming deadlines? But beneath the surface noise, beneath the responsibilities and obligations was her spirit, quietly begging for a chance to breathe, a chance to heal, a chance to simply be. With a deep, fortifying breath and a decisive click, she answered the call of her soul, silencing the doubts, at least for now. The days before her departure blurred into a whirlwind of arrangements, hurried conversations, and rushed explanations. She carefully packed comfortable clothes, soft fabrics that felt like a gentle embrace. She added a long-forgotten journal, its pages filled with the echoes of past dreams and reflections. And finally, she closed her suitcase, carrying a heart full of both hope and apprehension, excitement and trepidation. The drive to the retreat was more than just a change of scenery. It was a symbolic journey away from the chaos of her everyday life and toward the promise of quiet introspection. Arriving at the retreat, she was greeted by a gentle smile, a kind face, and a warm cup of tea, a simple gesture of welcome. The air smelled intensely of pine, crisp and clean. The only sounds were the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze and the cheerful songs of birds hidden in the trees. The retreat, nestled snugly in a peaceful valley, surrounded by mountains, felt instantly safe, a sanctuary. It was a place to finally exhale, to release the tension she had been holding onto for so long. Her room was simple, almost Spartan, just a bed, a desk, and a window offering a view of a serene garden, a small haven of green. No TV to distract, no Wi-Fi to connect her to the outside world. It was a sanctuary designed for stillness, a space to disconnect in order to reconnect. As she unpacked her belongings, a sense of calm began to settle over her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in what felt like a lifetime. She had, at long last, given herself this precious gift of time and space. The journey of healing and self-discovery was just beginning, a path unfolding before her. And as she stood there, breathing in the fresh mountain air, she already knew, with a growing sense of certainty, that she was exactly where she needed to be. The first morning began with dawn's soft light, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold. It was a gentle awakening, a stark contrast to the jarring buzz of an alarm clock that had dictated her mornings for far too long. Not an alarm. For the first time in ages, Sarah woke naturally, her eyes fluttering open to the soft glow filtering through the curtains. Her body in sync with the sun. There was no grogginess, no immediate sense of dread about the day ahead. No rush, no scramble. Just the gentle invitation of a new day. A day to be embraced, not endured. A day to rediscover herself. She listened to the symphony of nature outside her window, the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, a sound she'd forgotten. The city's constant hum had drowned it out, replaced by the cacophony of sirens and traffic. The day started with sunrise yoga, a practice she had always dismissed as too slow, too quiet. Sarah was nervous. She wasn't a yoga person, or so she thought. She felt awkward and out of place, surrounded by experienced practitioners. But the instructor's kind voice reassured her. This is your practice. Just breathe. Let go of expectations. As she moved through gentle poses, feeling the stretch in muscles she hadn't used in years, she focused on her breath, the rise and fall of her chest, the air filling her lungs, letting go of worries and to-do lists. The constant mental chatter began to quiet. She was present, just breathing. In that moment, nothing else mattered. After yoga came a silent breakfast. Eating in silence felt strange, almost unnatural in a world obsessed with noise and distraction, but soon she savored each bite, noticing flavors and textures, the sweetness of the berries, the crunch of the granola. The silence was full of presence, a space to connect with herself, turning eating into a ritual of self-care, a moment of gratitude for the nourishment she was receiving. The morning continued with guided meditation. Sitting still was a challenge. Her legs ached, her mind darted from thought to thought. Work deadlines, family obligations, the endless list of things she needed to do. The guide's voice reminded her, thoughts are like clouds. Let them float by. Observe them without judgment, without getting carried away. Slowly, moments of quiet appeared between her thoughts, glimmers of stillness in the chaos. In those gaps, Sarah felt something shift, a sense of calm she hadn't experienced in years. She was learning a new, intentional rhythm, a way to navigate the world with more awareness and less reactivity, a rhythm of peace. The retreat was teaching her to slow down, to appreciate the simple things, and listen, to her body, to her heart, to the world around her. She realized how much she'd missed this stillness, the quiet moments that allowed her to connect with her inner self. Each moment was a step toward healing, a step away from the chaos and towards a more balanced life. She was discovering a new way to be, a way to be present, to be mindful, to be at peace. The first morning set the tone for everything to come. It was a promise of transformation, a glimpse of hope. Sarah felt hope returning, a flicker of light in the darkness. She was ready for more, ready to embrace the journey, to face her fears, to rediscover her true self. At the retreat, food was medicine fresh, whole, lovingly prepared. Sarah, used to rushed meals, rediscovered the joy of eating to feel good. Each meal was a lesson in mindful eating, free from distractions. She learned to listen to her body's hunger and fullness, savoring every bite. Eating became a sacred act of self-care, not a mindless habit. Workshops taught her simple, nourishing recipes and the power of herbs for calm and energy. It wasn't about restriction, but abundance, adding goodness to her life. As her body felt lighter, her mind grew clearer. The mental fog lifted. She felt more patient and centered. Nourishing her body brought clarity and peace to her mind. True wellness, she realized, is holistic, nurturing every part of yourself. The digital detox was daunting. Turning in her phone felt terrifying. Her phone was her lifeline, her constant companion. The first hours were restless, her fingers itching for a screen. But soon, anxiety faded, replaced by relief. The pressure to be available vanished, her mind settled. Without digital distractions, she noticed the world anew, the patterns on leaves, the colors of the sky. Her senses awakened. She had real conversations, made eye contact, truly listened. By the end, the thought of getting her phone back filled her with dread. Disconnection became freedom. The silence was rich, giving her space to hear her own thoughts. The digital detox was a gift of presence. Each afternoon brought a silent walk through the forest. At first, Sarah saw it as exercise, but it became central to her healing. The guide encouraged them to let the forest be their therapist. She listened to the woods, the crunch of leaves, the wind in the trees. Sitting by a brook, she watched water flow around rocks, learning to let go and flow herself. Nature's resilience reminded her of her own strength. Anxiety faded in the face of nature's quiet majesty. She felt deeply connected, part of something vast and beautiful. Nature walked through her, healing her from the inside out. On the fourth day, a journaling workshop asked, "What does your heart truly want?" Sarah's pen moved and tears came. Years of exhaustion and buried dreams pouring out. She wasn't sad, she was letting go. The group held space for her, offering silent acceptance. In that vulnerability, Sarah found her truth, a longing for creativity, quiet, and better boundaries. She realized she'd abandoned herself in her quest to be everything for everyone. The tears washed away guilt, leaving clarity. It was a turning point, not a magical fix, but a shift in perspective. Self-care wasn't selfish, it was essential. She felt lighter, clearer, and more powerful. She had found her compass. The final day brought sadness and gratitude. Sarah felt bonded to the women she'd met. Strangers turned sisters. She left the retreat transformed, relaxed, smiling, eyes bright. The drive home was silent, peaceful. Her family noticed the change. She was present, calm, connected. Challenges remained, but Sarah was different. She woke early for quiet tea, took walks without her phone, and set boundaries to protect her peace. The retreat wasn't an escape, but a deep dive into life. She gained clarity and strength to reshape her days. She slept better, felt more resilient, and connected to her purpose. She learned peace wasn't a place, it was within her. The retreat gave her the map to find it. She was home, inside and out. If Sarah's story resonates, maybe it's time to answer your own call. Start by clarifying your intention. What are you seeking? Research retreats that align with your needs, but trust your intuition. Consider the schedule, location, and budget. Transformative experiences come in all forms. Choose a length that feels right for you. Most importantly, give yourself permission. You are worthy of this care. A retreat is an investment in your well-being. If you feel the pull for more, take the first step. Find your sanctuary, it could change your life.